Yeah, so I had originally thought XNET could recover, right? Like this is why I thought XNET was a good short as long as it stayed under VWAP. And so like I kind of had the feeling that we would pop over VWAP over here, and um, I was wrong and I just cut it. It was just stalling too much. And then so like I was laying in bed, I got an alert like I wanted to buy it if it ever got back over 450, 455, and I got the alert. I came back and I put a starter on right away. We got into VWAP. I added a little bit more. We started to hold, and I kind of liked that. Like I liked what I saw. We weren't tanking, so I put another piece on, and now I'm hoping that we can go. I think this can rip 5. It is struggling though. Like I was hoping it was going to be a little more sharp, but sometimes it needs to grind before it can really go the parabolic. SSR's on, so that can help. And this is a pretty unexpected move, so hopefully we get a little, people who are just disappointed that they didn't get their covers, and maybe that they're going to chase them up now. So pretty solid risk. I'm definitely going to get out under 58. If this comes down, I basically want this to stay strong, or I'm done with it. Little bit of grind probably has to happen. I have to sit through that as a long. And it's going to be annoying if I don't even get this first piece off. But that's going to be trading. It's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. If I'm going to be right in this trade, though, I want this to stay strong. It's possible that this could come all the way back down here and then come back up. And if that were to happen, I'd be okay with not being a part of it, because that's not what I'm looking for. I kind of want this to have surprised and not give an out, not give that favorable dip to cover, because then that means that like people are going to cover there, and then my squeeze thesis is wrong. So we'll see. Ideally stays above 65. I can see it dipping to 62 or 63 though. But I definitely want to see it above 60. Yeah, ideally we can get up here. That would be nice. But that's pretty strong. Definitely going to be taking some off into 5. Just got to sit through the grind. Hopefully there's some parabolic after a little bit of grind. That tends to be how it is like the impatient people get out in the chop. And that used to be me, and still is a lot of me, actually. And then there's a nice parabolic after. And lately, or in the past, in the last couple stock flurries, I've been able to capture a piece in there for that flurry. And it's hard to hold for the full flurry because like you want that routine moves, that super predictable moves, to be the base of your cells or the base of your, your position size. See where this dip holds. I ideally like it to just cling to 65, but this is some significant stalling up here. And it is very difficult to hold. It is very difficult to hold because this is just a very likely possibility that we're just over this for a stop out session. See how it holds up. Looks like some people buying the dip here, covering the dip pretty aggressively because ask's moving up and it's still getting taken. Over 70 is good. Under 62 is pretty weak. Under 62, and I have a little, I'm going to be not in love with it. The most important line is 450, but I don't think I'm going to want to stick around for that. Because if we can get down to 450, this chart's going to look more like a kind of like a VWAP fail. And I think I can identify that from a 460 crack. And if it goes up, I mean, I'm going to have to miss that. I think I'm going to move my sell up a little bit. I mean, if we break through 75, I had 77. I think we can get past that. $75 is at this temporary top right here. So it's almost like if we can break, I think I can get better than 2 cents. One thing I should mention is that this starter had this risk 450, and then when I added up here, I had like 455, 457 risk, depending on the dump or not. But yeah, right here. Right, so I'm consistently moving my risk up as I enjoy the trade more. Moving that trail up. Ideally, we hold above 65 here. The SSR is on, which means that all these red prints you see on the time and sales, that has to be longs, and that kind of helps because I can see like if size goes in on the bid, I can I know that there are still sellers that need to get out, so that that can tell me that it might have a hard time climbing. One of the few things I use level 2 for. Looks like the ask is pretty stacked, and this is probably due to the SSR. People can't attack the 465, right? So they're all trying to get in on the best offer. Now this can, result in two things. It can result in a wash, right? Like SSR kind of leverages things. It can result in a wash, when people, can't get, it starts to fail, and then people move to 65, 64, 63, 62, 61, and it washes like that, kind of on air almost. Or they could get swiped up, right? See how it just skipped down to 62? I got to cancel these orders so I can get ready to sell if I need to. Or they can get swiped, but they didn't get swiped, right? You can see they just chased down. But let's see what happens if they fill down here. On this alone, I might move the stop down to 57 or 55. I want to see if this is like, if they get swiped or not. See these guys? All these guys just got filled. It's kind of like a mini swipe, right? Like people just fill down there at 62s and 63s. And typically when that happens, you see like a pop up to like 67 or something. And then, you might see green covers going in there, right? Because they've just been like, oh no, I just immediately down, 5, 6, 7, 8 cents. And depending on what size they're using, it can be a lot. Because people FOMO, normally they FOMO with size. Right? See, like that was the swipe. That was the swipe right there. So let's see if the emotions ride. Everybody expecting it to just crack right here. Let's see if, the 62s got swiped and maybe 65s also got swiped, and now they're going to be wondering what's going on at 475. That's when emotion might set in, and that's where I'll get the covers. or that's where I'll get the sells that I want. Little
Got
stall
filled on
there.
XNET. Got filled on XNET.
Just took a little piece off just because of the stall, but hoping to get this push on 5.
Got filled on XNET.
All right.
Got filled on XNET.
A little bit more. You gonna be able to do it? Looking slow on gas, but remember, longs aren't feeling the pain now, shorts are. Come on, let's get that 90s. 90s I often feel is a little psychological too, because everyone knows that 90s is kind of grouped with the whole dollar. So sometimes like I often find a lot of struggle in the 80s.
Got filled on XNET.
I got a little bit more off there just in case this is topping out a little bit. Be a little dip and then a perk back, and I can consider putting some more on, but I'd rather not buy up here. Just kind of gonna let this wash a little bit, and ideally you kind of rip back again. I'll be happy with a push on 90s to 5. Stalin. Probably gonna tank to 75, shake me out, and then go higher. That sounds about right. After I get this sell, I'll just have a play piece on, just in case it just super rips and I can get like a nice sell above 5, but probably not. Like I'm just gonna have a play piece after this. Oh, give me that 90s. Give it time. Give it one more push on 90 and we could break through. First time, like this is an example of like a little micro time frame. First resistance kind of working. The first time it gets up to 90, it should fail. Like this is like micro scalper stuff. So I gotta like be patient through this kind of stuff. I can't like have it work immediately. Let's get it. Oh, so close. See how that 90 wall? It's like psychological 90 because everyone knows after 90 we might as well go to 5.
Got filled on XNET. Got filled on
Partial.
XNET.
Okay, there's the rest. Partial and then the rest. Okay, so now I just got a small play piece on now. And I can do whatever I want with this because I mean my trade's over. So now it's just if it wants to just go push 5, I can get it off. If it tanks to 480, I'll probably take it off. Put it at 99 and call it good and say I made it to 5. Yeah, this is essentially what I wanted. I wanted to push on 5. Not necessarily that we get to 5, because I think, just a straight up push from like 430 to 5 with no pullback, it's kind of a lot, even for a short squeeze. But this isn't like a day one short squeeze, right? So there are some sellers that will eventually need to take the profit, and 5 is that pretty psychological. So maybe we get that one push on 5 if I'm lucky. And if not, I'll just call it good wherever we stop momentum. 5 is that big psychological number. Might get an attempt on, and then I'll get off into the try, into the attempt.
Got filled on XNET.
All right, I got it off, and the trade's over. It can go higher, but I'm expecting, like it could push. My original idea was that 5 to 520 push. But that was when we were here in the morning. I'm dwindling down my expectations now that it's in the afternoon or midday. So I'm happy with this trade. It can go higher, but this is what I wanted. So hope you got something out of it.